Generations, a wall of cultural values protected us from chaos and destruction. Relentless attacks have shattered our moral foundation, threatening our families and our future.
Instead of having one random shooting, now you have multiple shootings. 2 people being shot, 3 people being shot at one time.
I don't think that crime is caused by poverty of the pocketbook. I think that crime is caused by poverty of the soul.
A 700 Club special, Rebuilding the Wall.
Every day, ladies and gentlemen, we are bombarded with headlines of appalling violence in America. A sense of security and protection that we used to enjoy has given way to feelings of fear and trepidation in our lives.
Oh my God! I can't believe this happened!
In December, USA Today proclaimed, "Fear has immobilized millions of Americans," adding, "If you're afraid, you're a victim of crime." Indeed, many Americans are gripped by the fear of crime. A major reason for that may be the unrelenting rise in the number of murders. There were 24,526 homicides in 1993, up 31% in just one decade. And to fuel the fire of fear, FBI statistics show there's a 53% chance a victim will be killed by a total stranger. New York City Police Lieutenant Bill Zizecki.
When crime does take place, the severity of the crime is tremendous. Instead of having one random shooting, now you have multiple shootings. 2 people being shot, 3 people being shot at one time.
With day-to-day regularity, the headlines are full of stories about terrorism, random killings, families murdered, office shootings, and deadly carjackings. Some shocking examples. Police in Madison Heights, Michigan, say 19-year-old John Gamble was shot dead because he accidentally bumped into a man at a restaurant.
Nothing really took place, so they asked to pass by, and that's all that took place.
That was it?
That is it.
In Florence, Kentucky, 17-year-old Clay Shrout killed his father, mother, and 2 sisters with a shotgun. Police say the boy set his alarm extra early for the sole purpose of killing his parents while they were still asleep. Why?
He was getting really stressed out, and they were getting on his nerves. They wouldn't let him go certain places. They took his truck away after he got caught with the taser at school.
An Ohio mother, concerned her daughters may have been molested by their father, smothered the 3- and 5-year-olds after taking them to Disney World as a last treat. A 78-year-old Florida woman who complained to a teenager about rap song lyrics was hit in the head with a boombox, then kicked to death. What's behind these senseless killings? While many household murders can easily be traced to the abuse of drugs and alcohol, anxiety and moral problems, liberals have long blamed street crime on poverty, and the federal government, accepting this liberal belief, spent billions in its war on poverty in the belief that by reversing poverty, crime can be stopped. But it hasn't worked. Many inner cities have become war zones, and violent crime has spread to almost every corner of the nation. But not everyone accepts the idea that poverty fuels crime. At Western Illinois University, Dr. Douglas Norvell ran a computer analysis on unemployment and criminal statistics. His conclusion?
Poverty and crime are not related statistically.
Dr. Norvell said even the worst period of poverty in American history, the Great Depression, did not fuel a major crime wave. In 1929, when the unemployment rate was 3.2%, 59,000 people were sent to prison. By 1933, unemployment had soared to nearly 25%, but just 62,000 were incarcerated that year. So while the number of those out of work rose 678%, the number of those in prison increased just 5%. Dr. Norvell's second conclusion?
I don't think that crime is caused by poverty of the pocketbook. I think that crime is caused by poverty of the soul.
And many analysts wholeheartedly agree with that. William Green, a New York corrections officer, sees poverty of the soul in prison firsthand every day. He says a generation has emerged in which many have no conscience and absolutely no regard for human life.
What we're doing in this political correct society is not working. You know, we don't want people to talk about Jesus. We don't want to have no Christian values instilled in the schools. So now you take the Bibles out, this is why, and we got metal detectors.
To many, it seems like a protective wall has come down, allowing a flood of anger, crime, and greed to overtake a generation and a threaten a nation. Lieutenant Zizeki believes America has taken a gravely dangerous wrong turn.
If we turn our backs on God and say, okay, God, we don't want you in the school no more, God's going to say, turn around and say, okay, do it on your own.
And today we see the tragic results of doing it on our own.
Today I wanted to talk directly to the person or persons involved in the abduction of my daughter, Sarah Ann Wood.
Is there still hope for America? Yes. Slowly, brick by brick, there are indications that the tide may be turning as America re-examines its foundation, which was based on godly principles. One sign of hope: the U.S. Congress underwent a house cleaning in November, and like never before, lawmakers seem sincerely concerned about moral issues and laws that harm families. Another sign of hope: many Americans have become fed up with the predictable news coverage generated by the liberal media and by the millions have turned to alternative news media outlets like Rush Limbaugh, G. Gordon Liddy, and CBN News. And in communities around the nation, people are realizing that government is not the answer to every problem. For example, CBN-affiliated Operation Blessing is making a difference in numerous American communities, providing food, services, and spiritual nourishment to those in need. So as we face a new year, Americans must ask themselves, do we let the rest of the wall fall down and face the horrendous consequences? Or do we take a stand and start rebuilding on the one true foundation?
The only thing that's going to change it is that this country, that we get back to God.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're always hearing about budget solutions. We've got a budget crisis, or it's the economy stupid, or what have you. But more and more people are realizing right now that the answer is in the hearts and lives of the American people. We've got to change. And there's only one way we're going to change, is when we surrender to God. When we begin to put His laws first. And unless we do, we will not reverse the drift toward anarchy and decay that this country's seen. Even though we've had some good elections, and I'm grateful for it, we've still got a long way to go.